Hello and welcome to the Weekly Reel Podcast. My name is Jeremy,
And my name is Ken.
and let's fucking go. We are in the finale of season 7 of the Weekly Reel Podcast. And Ken, guess what we're talking about today?
I don't know. What are we talking about today?
More Glenn Powell. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm kidding. Glenn Powell just hijacked another episode. No, we are talking about Deadpool and Wolverine. And I didn't realize how hyped I was for this movie until we actually like the day of like waking up on that Thursday morning. I was like, "Oh, hope I want this workday to be over so I can go watch the movie."
Was it more because this is really our only MCU title or theatrical release, or is it because this is Deadpool and Wolverine's first appearance in the MCU?
I want to say it's mostly the second one.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
Yeah, I mean like just not really in the MCU. I think if it was even just like its own thing, a
And it's
Deadpool
back.
3 and
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
back, it's been
yeah,
that long.
yeah.
Dude, can you believe it's been 6 years since the last one?
I know. Well, that and Deadpool has dropped, just subtle, well, actually I should say not so subtle hints of Wolverine
Yeah.
in the previous two Deadpools, and so it's just really cool to be able to see them on screen together. Even with all the teasers when they announced it and all that stuff. That already got me hyped, and just to see it on the big screen was just another level of anticipation. Only seen in the Avengers movies, No Way Home, and I think that's it.
Yeah, shoot, man. And one thing that got me hyped was obviously the return of Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. And honestly, going into this movie, I was a little afraid that he would just completely steal the show. And I think we can talk about that a little bit more later on.
Yeah.
But let's break the fourth wall a little bit and address our live audience that we started having this this season 7.
Should I do
So
it?
yeah, just do it.
The proposal. No, just kidding.
That was so good.
Oh man. Well, yeah. I mean, I just want to invite. Sorry. I want to welcome our live stream audience. Welcome to the season 7 finale. This is our final movie of the season, and what a finale to have it on Deadpool and Wolverine. And so, if you haven't seen it, obviously, feel free to hop off. Um, we will actually be talking more MCU in part 2 in the soup du jour. So feel free to time it out in about an hour. Try to check to see if we're still live. And yeah, obviously we will be talking spoilers. So, but if you have seen this movie and want to engage both Jeremy and I and comment on the live stream, we will make time throughout the live stream to address your questions or comments. And I think it adds a level of interaction that we've never really had in previous seasons.
Yeah, so this season has been pretty special because we got to interact with you guys live and get some special guest appearances
Mm-hmm,
and
mm-hmm.
to surprise us, which is always cool. So I always appreciate
We see you, John.
everyone. Yeah, John. Who else was there? Just him. That's it.
Hey, but you know what? That was like our own special celebrity.
Yep. On the other
It's like
side
one.
of the
It's
YouTube.
yeah. It's like one of those cameos in Deadpool and Wolverine that we'll get into after the spoiler warning.
Yes. And this is your spoiler warning now before we jump into all the spoilerific stuff in just a little bit because this movie is doing really well. And if you haven't seen it yet, go see it now Because even
What's wrong
like
with
I
you?
hear,
No,
yeah, exactly. What the hell's wrong with you? Feed into the capitalism right now. um, okay, so Wade Wilson returns as Deadpool as he recruits Wolverine to save his universe from being deleted
yeah,
in this movie.
yeah.
So, Ken, there's a lot that happens, and I want to jump straight into it because I don't want to spend too much time with the, all on the setting
We
up
have a
stuff.
lot to cover.
Yes, we have a lot to cover. So I'm going to try to get things out as fast as possible. And starting with the double feature, this is our last double feature of the season. And if you don't know what it is by now, I'll tell you right now. Ken is going to ask a question that I don't know he's going to ask. I'm going to ask him a question he doesn't know I'm going to ask him. And so that's going to be a little fun. Ken, me being the host today for Deadpool and Wolverine, I'm doing a little bit of an audible.
Uh-oh.
And so you are going to go first
Oh,
in
okay.
asking me the question.
Well, there you go. Because usually the second half of the double feature usually has two questions, just in case. So I'll ask you, I guess, the first question, and mine is very straightforward, just because I don't know. I feel like if you go to a Deadpool movie, one, you're gonna get like funny comments, so you're kind of going there for the comedy, but two, the action, and so. Yes, for my half of the double feature, I'll be talking about the action. Specifically with the fight scenes. Which one was your favorite?
Dude, easy. I already know. It's the opening sequence. Set to InSync's Bye 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 and fighting with freaking Wolverine's adamantium skeleton. First, he takes off one of the floating ribs, which I think is obviously one of the easiest ones for him to pull off, and just start tossing around. Dude, when when that fight scene freaking started, I was like, this could be one of the greatest MCU movies. It's like this could even be the best Deadpool. It was a strong start. It set the tone for the rest of the movie. I might even say it was the best scene in the entire movie, arguably.
So it went downhill after that? No, I'm just kidding.
Not
Just
necessarily.
kidding.
But
I'm
in terms of
messing with
action
you.
sequences, the
Mhm.
choreography, the
Yeah.
camera work,
Yeah.
especially the choreography, how creative it got, because we knew Deadpool was gonna be uber violent, and I always forget how acrobatic Deadpool is,
hmm
and so some of the moves that he does it's irreverent, but cool to see.
Yeah. No, I love that, just because you get a lot of references. Obviously, Deadpool. Actually, you know what? This is actually something that I didn't know until literally today. And I completely forgot, just because it's been so long since I've seen X2. But in X2, was it 2003, if I'm not mistaken?
X2, I think so.
Um, in that movie, Wolverine, I want to say, complains about Bye 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 playing in the background.
Oh shoot, yeah.
And and Deadpool literally, I don't think it was an accident. Ryan Reynolds decided to obviously desecrate his remains from 2017's Logan, even though I think in the lead up to this movie they were say, oh yeah, we're not gonna mess with Logan, or we're gonna pay homage or whatever, we'll pay our respects, and then we're not gonna, and that's exactly the opposite of what they do.
Yeah.
And literally they dig up his grave, and just just use his all 206 or what 207 bones.
If you're watching Gossip
If you're
Girl.
watching, I love that reference with
Yeah.
Blake Lively. I had no idea that she was in Gossip Girl because I've never seen it.
Yeah, I've never
Maybe
seen
it might be on my one last thing later. Nah, I'm just kidding.
Of course, Ryan Reynolds would say that.
Yeah, I love it though. He's just supporting his wife. Um, and yeah, no, it was so good. It's arguably one of the one of the best openers in all of the MCU and one of the more memorable ones just in cinema history, I think.
It,
I'm
it
not saying it's like in a top 10, but it's certainly memorable.
Yeah. I know Jacob's probably going to watch this later. He says his favorite opening to a movie ever
Yeah.
is Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
like,
that's good.
okay, that's interesting.
I think it
would
was
say
good.
this- yeah, it was good. I feel like this is better in my opinion. I
Oh
like
yeah,
it,
yeah. Yeah.
but that, yeah, I didn't catch that until like I didn't think about the X2 bye bye bye.
I didn't either until literally I saw a TikTok video because I got off of work a little bit earlier and I was trying to do as much research as I could.
Yeah, in
That-
in
and
Cyclops' car.
yeah, it's Cyclops' car. Exactly. See, you remember now.
I remember now.
Very
Okay,
good pull, not pool.
cool. Yeah,
There was a lot of
still,
different pools here.
yeah. There's plenty of pools. Ken, my
Mhm.
half of the double feature.
Oh wait,
The
I
reason.
never.
Oh,
Sorry,
yes.
didn't mean to cut you off. Yeah, I didn't
Oh, yeah.
mention mine.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. I thought. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah. I love that one. But in the interest of saying a different one, I mean, I love the van one, the minivan one in the Honda Odyssey. I
Mhm.
feel like it was more creative than the one that I'll mention. So this is more of an honorable mention. Uh, Especially the way it ended with all the seatbelts and everything.
Mhm.
When they get picked up by the the others that we'll probably end up talking about later. But my favorite is actually the one that they teased in the trailer, and I'll mention this now, because I didn't want my real review to be negative. Really, the only negative about this movie is the fact that, and I mentioned this to you right after the movie, the fact that Marvel Studios literally showed so much in all of their various trailers, and I stayed away from breakdowns, but they showed so much, including obviously things like the X-23
Mhm.
cameo, that I would have loved to seen that the first time on screen instead of on a trailer the week before. But dude, on the very first full trailer, were already showing that first fight scene in the void that I liked, and I'm
Yeah.
glad that at least they didn't spoil the fact that the needle drop for that scene was AC/DC Hell's Bells. Oh my god, I got so hyped. And Deadpool's fourth wall break was, what did he say again? I forgot. He was basically,
Oh
oh, you're gonna see some shit or something. I don't know
yeah.
what he
He's like,
said.
he's like, nerds get your something ready
Yes, something like that. And I was
because
like, oh, here we go. And then, like, literally, everything was just so quick paced when they showed them go running towards each other, especially Wolverine, and he was doing oh, I was like, oh,
yeah,
here we go.
yeah, that was sick. Yeah, I never seen Hugh Jackman's Wolverine crawl like that on the floor.
I know,
It's
man,
like,
dude. But yeah, I feel like the needle drop added another element
yeah,
to it. I love it when music goes well with whatever's going on on screen, and it just adds another layer. It just brings it to another dimension. So I love that. I love that one.
that's such a good, and they had really good choreography there too. I
Yeah,
want to say those are probably like the best two action
yeah,
sequences of the movie.
right. Even though I remember seeing a snippet of a breakdown, basically through a TikTok or whatever. Basically, they emulated a little bit of the Spider-Man Raimi, the first one,
Mhm.
the fight choreography with Peter Parker and Flash
Oh
Thompson
wow,
with the whole.
yeah, yeah,
So I would have again loved to have seen that fight sequence, maybe in lesser snippets in the trailer, but they showed a little too much again. So I gotta keep Kevin Feige. I gotta keep him in check.
yeah. And for whatever reason, the first time we were watching, I didn't realize they said that they would give Deadpool adamantium swords,
Mhm.
and because like I don't know how he was like his swords were surviving in that first scene.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, we got someone in the comments right now that his Mr. Anti-Idiotic says, I really, really want Kitty Pryde to be Tom Holland's Spidey's new girlfriend in the MCU. I mean, it's possible now. Deadpool, well, Deadpool's in the MCU, X-Men's MCU. If you haven't seen the Marvels,
Mm-hmm.
the X-Men are now officially in the MCU.
Yep.
And your profile picture really scares me for some reason. All right, so my half of double feature, Ken. I prepared something special for you for the finale.
Oh.
I prepared a rapid fire question
Oh, okay.
because I
Ready.
knew that we can't cover everything in this movie in such a short amount of time that we have. Okay, so this is it. You're gonna have to answer these as quick as possible.
Got it.
And I have my own answers for these afterwards, but
Okay.
this is it. Ken
Like
doesn't know
first thing that comes to my mind.
exactly. First thing that comes in your mind, you're gonna try to answer these as fast as you can. Okay, here we go. Question 1: what was your favorite cameo?
Oh, it's Blade.
Okay, next, what cameo did you want to see but did not get?
Oh, that's easy. Loki.
Oh, Loki. Okay, NSYNC or Backstreet Boys
Oh man.
for yourself?
Before Backstreet, lately though, in Sync.
Okay, best song in the movie.
Oh, best song in the movie. I think I have that in my notes. Sorry. Oh, because there's a lot. Oh, it has to be Like a Prayer, even
Okay.
though the trailer spoiled it again. It still hit, especially after.
Oh yeah, after the mask. Oh
the
shoot!
mask. It was so good.
All right, here we go. Next question: which was better, this opening scene or the one from Deadpool 1?
This one.
All right. Favorite Deadpool of the movie that was not Prime Pool?
You're gonna think I'm weird. Nice pool because the proposal.
Such a good line. Such a good line. All right. Henry Cavill or Daniel Radcliffe as the next Wolverine?
Henry Cavill.
There you go. What are your top 3 Wolverine appearances, including this one? It doesn't have to include this one, but what are your top 3 Wolverine appearances?
Like in all of
the Fox. Yeah.
Oh shoot. Whew. Man, that's a good question. This one for sure is one. Well, not in any order, but this one is one of the this is definitely one of the 3. Man,
X-Men
what was that
Origins?
second? What was the second one after that one? Is it
After X-Men Origins?
Yeah,
The Wolverine?
the Wolverine. Yeah, I like the
Okay.
Wolverine. And
Any of the X-Men movies?
yeah, for the first X-Men.
Okay, first X-Men.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Last question. Why do you think Thor was crying?
I'm thinking. I think there's gonna be some weirdness that we'll eventually see in Secret Wars, where Deadpool will, because Loki's now the god of stories. Deadpool will kind of take his place because
wow.
it looks similar to what do you call that?
Dark World?
Dark World.
Yeah.
So we'll revisit certain things again, like in Endgame a little bit.
Yeah, you know what I noticed in that scene too was like Thor had the scar on his eye. I was like, what? I didn't notice that.
Yeah,
But yeah, there you go. That's my rapid fire question for you.
that was a lot. Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, now I kind of want to know what your answers are.
Okay. Before I get into mine, Mr. Anti-Idiotic, I did not know that Peter and Kitty dated in the Ultimate Universe. Good little tidbit. Might research that later. My answers to my rapid fire. Favorite cameo? Gambit.
Yeah,
There we go. Cameo that I wanted to see but did not get. Daredevil, Ben Affleck.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
actually, can I give an honorable mention?
Yeah.
I wanted to see John Favreau as Foggy. I think I mentioned like half the thing.
Yeah.
Forgot about that
Dude,
one.
if Ben Affleck and John Favreau just came out as Foggy
That would have been
and
that would
Daredevil,
have been sick.
yeah. Uh, NSYNC or Backstreet Boys? I have to go stick with Backstreet Boys. Just grew
Oh
up with
yeah,
them more.
yeah. I'm the same, but I feel like just lately,
Yeah.
we've seen more in sync. I don't know if it's because they've only recently reunited, I guess, a little bit because
Mhm.
Justin never wanted to do it.
Yeah.
I think he's trying to use the other guys. Jeez, what's wrong with you, Justin Timberlake?
Best song of the movie? I went with Avril Lavigne's "I'm With You." I was
Yes,
like, it brought me back to Smallville. Always
I
gotta
have
bring
that
up
actually in
Smallville.
my notes.
Nice. I knew it. Where's the red truck, man?
I know, seriously, in the middle of a tornado with Glenn Powell. Wrong universe.
Wrong universe. Which was better, this opening or Deadpool 1? I also chose this movie's opening.
Yeah.
Favorite Deadpool the movie that was not Prime Pool? I also chose Nice Pool. Sorry.
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 Yeah, that's sorry. The Canadian
Damn it.
accent was so good.
Freaking
Shoot.
Prime Pool. Damn it, mother. uh, Henry Cavill or Daniel Radcliffe? I also chose Henry Cavill.
Although I think Daniel Radcliffe would be more comic accurate. I love the fact that we got a 5'3" version
Yeah.
of Deadpool. Was it at the dive bar or whatever that was?
Yeah, it was like the first Wolverine to appear.
Yeah,
That was funny.
that was good.
My top 3 Wolverine appearances. I'm surprised you didn't say this and probably forgot. Logan.
Oh, freaking sorry. Yeah, Logan. Sorry.
I said
Duh.
Logan, this, and X2. X-Men
Okay.
United.
Yes. Okay, so in that case, sorry, forgot about Logan. That's don't use that first clip. I forgot about Logan, but yes, when you put me on the spot, man. So yeah, it'd be this Logan and probably the Wolverine, just because of that one shot where he comes out and he's just all yoked and stuff. It's like that one scene at the end when when Deadpool does this.
Yeah.
Looking at his abs.
Yeah. Freaking.
So good. No,
That was
but
too good.
honestly, I don't remember a lot of the X-Men movies. I've missed probably half of them. So
Honestly, they're pretty good.
yeah, I
would
know.
put a lot of them in, a lot of some would even make it in the upper tier of MCU. Some would make it into the middle. I think I think even the worst ones are
Mhm.
better than my current MCU list. Except
Mm.
for maybe, well, no, I think even X-Men Origins Wolverine. But hint, hint, for part 2, we're going to be talking about our MCU ranking. So that's in a
Yeah,
little bit.
I'll mention this part of the topic again in part 2 also. I'll yeah, it's more like towards the end of part 2. Anyway, go ahead, sorry.
Okay. Last question for my own self. Why do I think Thor was crying? I would say sometime in the future, maybe even like a Secret Wars. Deadpool's gonna supposedly make a noble sacrifice to save Thor, even though Thor didn't need to be saved. Like he's gonna jump in front of a bullet for him, but I feel like it's gonna be more for a gag than an actual like something that drives the story.
Mm. Interesting. Okay. And do you think it'll be like in like towards the end of Secret Wars, or it'll be like in the middle or something like that?
I would assume during the end.
Okay.
Yeah, because by that time they kind of formed enough of a relationship that Thor kind of cries for him a little bit. Like, oh, you were my best friend after Heimdall and my stepbrother Loki.
Why am I picturing Ragnarok in the beginning with Matt Damon
Yeah,
with the bendy horns?
exactly.
No. Oh shoot, that's too good.
Well, that's it for my super rapid fire of the episode. So let's jump into the dailies, Ken.
Mhm.
I know that there's a lot of stuff in this movie that we need to cover. So, what are some of the
Yes.
things that you want to talk about?
Well, I mean, we were on the topic of cameos, I guess. We mentioned a few of them. They're more just kind of also quick hitters. And I mean, I won't say that your rapid fire kind of stole my thunder with the dailies, but I can pivot. One of the things when Gambit Channing Tatum showed up, first of all, dude, his look was so accurate. I was like, holy crap. I feel like this is probably one of the most comic accurate like costumes that I've seen. Am I forgetting any other ones?
I mean, besides like the Wolverine costume and the Deadpool costume, I guess Spider-Man, you know?
Yeah.
Like other than that, freaking the way it like hugs his face, the whole hair swooping over.
Hair swooping over. Dude.
Honestly, like when you look at Blade and Elektra's costume, you knew all the money went into Gambit's costume. I mean, their costumes were fine. They were similar to what they've worn in the past.
Right.
But you can tell that the costume department went all out for Gambit.
Gambit. Oh, I know. Well, I mean, it was his first appearance. It was like he was born in the void.
Yeah.
Love that.
I was born ready. No, I came out shooting from my dude.
That was so good.
His like the deadpan delivery from Channing Tatum with the kind of French Louisiana.
Yeah, the Cajun accent.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so good. One last thing on the Gambit, and I'm sure you may have thought it, but one of the things I was thinking of when obviously Deadpool was making fun of the fact that we couldn't really understand what he was saying because he was talking so fast and with that thick accent. I know a lot of people were thinking it in the movie theater, but I was thinking, my name is Jeff.
Yeah, I was like, it's like, hey man, what's your name?
My name is Jeff.
My name is Jeff. Trying to disguise who he is.
Shoot.
So
you got
good.
anything else for? You got anything for the dailies? I mean, I have a few just other random stuff.
Okay, like you said, I didn't want to go super negative in my real review, but also I'll mention here.
Okay.
I think this is the worst one out of the three.
Really?
I think so. Oh, sorry, not the worst one. Sorry, the worst story out of the three.
Okay, I was about to say.
Yeah, sorry. Gotta watch my words here. Yeah, it's the worst story out of the three. It's kind of like the Dark Knight trilogy,
Yeah.
right? It's like they're all good, but the Dark Knight Rises was clearly the weakest story out of the three, and I felt like that was the same for this movie.
Yeah, I think it's because they had to incorporate the multiverse, and as we all know, the multiverse has been a lot of hit and miss.
Yeah.
A lot of miss. A lot more mess than in the Infinity Saga.
Yeah, and according to Deadpool, um, they're joining at a low
A low
point
point.
in the MCU. That was so good.
That was very good.
That's a bold joke,
Yeah, no.
considering they're in that universe now. Kevin Feige lets them do that joke.
I love it. I love it though. I love it.
Yeah.
It's super meta. Obviously, it's kind of poking fun at themselves, and like maybe they got a little too cocky with, oh, we could put out anything and we're gonna make close to $1 billion or more than $1 billion on anything that we put out. So
Mm.
maybe it's just now they're gonna be focused on like fewer projects with better quality. The whole quality over quantity thing now, instead of the what it's been, the last 3 years since the pandemic, when we started up again and like literally got bombarded with all this IP within a short amount of time.
Yeah, yeah. I hope because the next Marvel or MCU thing is it's not Falcon and Winter's not Falcon. Captain America
Captain America.
Brave New World. There's some shows, right? Like
hmm
Agatha, I think.
I think Agatha's next, if I'm not mistaken. I'd
And
have to look that up.
then yeah. But in terms of movies, it's Captain America, right?
Yeah. So for the movies, I have it here. It'll be Brave New World in February, and then Thunderbolts right after.
Oh, okay.
May 5th. So there's going to
Thunderbolts.
be potentially. Ooh, I don't know if Blade's coming out in 2025, but I think
Yeah,
I
I don't
think
think so.
I want to say it's a Brave New World, Thunderbolts, and Fantastic Four next year.
Okay.
That's according to Wikipedia, so
Mm,
take that with a grain of salt.
I hope Captain America's good, but
Yeah,
all the reshoots we talked about that a while back. Hopefully, it ends up good.
I hope so too. Just because I don't know, the trailer makes it look good. I just hope that it doesn't get bogged down, uh, like huge chunks of Falcon and Winter Soldier did.
Hmm. Yeah, I hope they have a good enough villain compared to the show.
Yes, agreed, agreed.
I did want to bring up Mr. Anti-Idiotic's comment. Can you imagine the interaction between Taron Egerton's Wolverine and Tom Holland's Spidey? So Taron Egerton, I don't know if you remember who he is from Kingsman.
Oh
You know,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, dude, that's actually a really good. I forgot. I wouldn't mind him as Wolverine. They actually, I from an interview I saw, they actually approached him for a role in the MCU. I was kind of hoping he would be like Cyclops,
Okay.
but he could be Wolverine. But I don't think he would. He's joining at this point if he actually said that he turned it down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. I mean, I feel like really haven't talked about the story that much. I mean, you mentioned the fact that it was probably the weakest out of the three Deadpool movies. Like, were there any aspect of the story, good or bad, that you wanted to highlight, especially as it relates to the TVA,
Hmm.
as it relates to oh shoot, what's her name again? From
Cassandra Nova.
Cassandra Nova. Uh, Obviously the Void. Like all the Deadpools. I don't know.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've been talking about aspects of the movie. We haven't really talked about the storyline.
Yeah, honestly, some of my problems, I guess, with the story. I mean, besides the overly there's a lot of exposition thrown in
There
like
is.
a
Yeah.
lot of scenes for a third movie.
Yeah.
Just like Deadpool pointed out, I was like, dang, that's so meta, but you already knew that it was a problem.
Yeah.
Um, so it was because technically the TVA is also a antagonist, the villain in this movie. with
At,
Paradox.
yeah, at least Paradox little sector.
Yeah, right. And but I never really felt too much of a like uh a threat from him because of the way he like was so jaunty, which I
Yeah.
didn't mind, right? Because you need to stand out in a Deadpool movie, and it was like sometimes it's better than being like the generic straight villain guy.
Hmm.
Um, but once they got sent to the void, as much as I love the stuff that happens in the void, I felt like they literally put them now in a box
Hmm.
that they couldn't further the story for a really long time.
Right.
It's like once they got in the void, they were kind of just stuck in there doing their own things, getting all the cameos, and then you have.
Hmm.
But by the time they get out of there, it's like the end of the movie,
Right.
right?
Right.
So it just takes so long that I think there needed to be more setbacks and more struggle to the greater universe that they were fighting for. And it would have been nice to stay in Earth 1, what is it? 1
10005.
yeah, 1005, and just go in there and see what they can like wreak havoc there.
Yeah.
I know maybe we can get the cameos or stay in the void, but not as long.
Hmm.
Yeah, I felt like that was my kind of critique of that
Okay.
story.
Kind of going back to Paradox, he was essentially playing Tom Wamskins from Succession. If you watch that show, he literally plays that same character. So I know why they casted him. I guess
Mhm.
some sort of elitist, I guess sort of character. I guess that obviously has ulterior motives. So yeah, he could play like the nice guy because he's got that corporate speak, but then obviously, like once you peel back the layers, he'll be like a kind of like a sneaky villain type. As far as the story itself, I think because I feel like because we got different versions of, well, obviously Wolverine, and obviously they wanted to highlight the fact that this was the worst Wolverine. They wanted to be able to give his backstory, and I feel like Hugh Jackman did a really admirable job in terms of acting.
Yeah.
I felt like I truly felt his, like the weight of his, I guess, error, that like the way
Guilt, I
everything turned
guess.
out and his
Yeah.
guilt. So I felt like that was good. um I felt like they yada yada Deadpool's motivations. Yeah, we got to
A
see
little
the
bit, yeah.
beginning of, obviously the characters that we grew to know and love in the first two Deadpools, minus oh my goodness, who was TJ Miller's character again?
Oh,
Weasel.
Weasel, yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot if
Minus
that
him.
was his I forgot if that was his name in Deadpool or if it was in Transformers 4. He played the same character.
Basically, he plays the same character. He's typecast
Yeah.
for everything. He's just playing himself. But yeah, I feel like they yada yada his motivations. But again, because we spent two films with those characters, I think Ryan Reynolds just figured, because they were essentially doing the whole Back to the Future thing where they're slowly disappearing from the timeline, that we'd want to save them. So,
Okay. Um shoot. Another, what kind of disappointed me in this movie also was I don't like I know Deadpool Wolverine was, like you said, super like basically depressed about the stuff that he went through, and when he eventually explains it to X-23, he acts it out perfectly.
mhm,
But I feel like we don't get enough detail in terms of the humans came
yeah,
and killed the X-Men, but it's
yeah,
like how can
They yada yada
humans?
that.
Yeah. I'm like, damn it, because
I
they
remember
were
that.
they
Yeah.
were building it up the entire movie. So
Mhm,
it's like, okay, was it Sentinels? Was it whatever? Like
mhm.
virus? Was it whatever some WMD or whatever it is?
Yeah.
Right. I feel like a little bit of more detail would go a long way in terms
Yeah.
of having more of an impact for me.
Or even
Be-
a second act flashback, and
yeah, exactly.
not a third act flashback like they.
Yeah, as they alluded to, because
Oh man.
when Cassandra Nova went into Wolverine's mind, and then they were like tricking her to put on Juggernaut's helmet,
Helmet. Yeah.
and they were talking in there. I almost thought we were gonna get a full flashback,
Yeah.
like an entire scene explaining what happened to Wolverine. I thought that would
Yeah.
have been nice.
In his reality. Yeah. But I'm just glad that we were able to get a reunion later on, eventually with X-23 and Logan. Um, I like the whole sunglasses kind of reference too from
Yeah,
Logan as well. I was like, oh, she still has it. Oh, it's so good. And I'm really glad that I mean, they talked about it. They kind of yada yada it, but like, I think I ended up catching it. I mean, we talked about it. How okay, can the others be returned to their realities, and that basically returned X-23 to the same reality that they were in, and it and they were able to kind of, I don't know if bend the rules or whatever and keep Wolverine in that particular reality, but it was pretty cool to be able to have that reunion between the two, because I love their dynamic in Logan, because arguably it's the um I feel like it's one of the best comic book movies ever, Logan, even though I forgot about it earlier in the segments.
yeah, like, dude, X-23. Like you said, I really wish we didn't get spoiled for X-23's
Yeah.
appearance, because I feel like that would have hit even harder. And too bad they keep kind of glossing over things like really fast in this movie. I think that's probably one of the main downfalls of this movie, because I know everyone's loving it, but
Yeah.
I've also heard from the other side, the people who haven't, kind of the movie, the casual moviegoer
Hmm.
that goes in, and they're saying it's fine. It's an
Yeah.
okay movie. But for us who have been watching and know all these pop culture references, we love it, and I absolutely do. But I can see the kind of the some of the downfalls of that could have made
Yeah.
it one of the great superhero movies.
I wonder if they would have just added an extra 15 to 20 minutes to kind of give it a little bit more connective tissue, if it would have played better. Because really, the runtime was only 2 hours and a little bit over 2 hours. Maybe if it used that extra 15 minutes, they could have used, it could have been beneficial.
It's because Chris Evans took all the budget, man.
That is true. That is true. And now, actually, that was how I wanted to end this segment of the dailies, because we surprisingly took what 44 minutes now into the live stream to not mention Chris Evans. I love the whole stay close, and it's like, okay,
Oh, aye, Captain.
he's gonna say it. Avengers, flame on.
Dude, honestly, he was also the best like character in the Fantastic Four movies.
Yeah, yeah,
So, I mean, he dies, but it's whatever at this point.
yeah.
Like, is it the same Johnny that we had in those movies? It doesn't really matter. There could be a million Chris Evans Johnny Storms.
Hmm.
Because he certainly did not talk like that in in those
In
movies.
those most, yeah, yeah, on the Fox
Finger licking
offensive.
cinnamon roll.
Juggernauts.
Yeah. All the
He
stuff
was definitely, yeah, it's definitely from Boston for sure.
yeah, we could not say all that stuff on YouTube.
Shoot, that's too good.
Oh shoot. Okay. Well, I know we didn't get to cover everything yet, but I wanted, before we forget, let's jump into the real review, and we could always bring up random thoughts as we go along. But Ken, let's jump into our real review and give our, official thoughts. No spoilers for those who
Yes.
are going to be listening to this a little bit later.
All right. For my real review. Confession time. As I alluded to earlier, I'm never fully invested in getting into the X-Men universe, just in general, because back in my youth, I was a DC guy and a Spider-Man guy. But starting in 2016, the Deadpool movies had me on the fringe of the Fox X-Men universe. Got me to watch a few of them. So when Disney bought Fox, it got me hyped at all the possibilities that Marvel Studios could do with the X-Men. And man, the first offering delivered. In Deadpool and Wolverine, you get more of the snappy one-liners and fourth wall breaks we've grown accustomed to from Deadpool. Wolverine brings an oil and vinegar type of dynamic with Deadpool within the MCU. And yeah, they don't mix, but man, they are so good together. Mix that with the TVA, some multiverse hijinks, and some Leonardo DiCaprio pointing meme-worthy cameos. And I can proudly say the MCU is back. Well, from a bit of a low point. So, on the I Love You 3000 scale, I'm giving Deadpool and Wolverine a kind of a irrational 2730 out of 3000, which is a 91%.
Nice. Okay. I mean, we've been pretty irrational these last few weeks, and it's all good.
Can you imagine if Glenn Powell was in this movie?
Dude,
100 or 3000. It'll be my first 3000.
It's like, oh, he's in the next X-Men movie? Started off in this one? It's over.
Hey, Kevin
Glenn Powell.
Feige. Glenn Powell. That's all I got to say. Cast him in something, please.
Something. Let him be, I don't know, a Deadpool variant at this point.
Oh, shoot.
Okay. All right. For me, Deadpool and Wolverine is a bit of an end of an era for the Fox X-Men universe, because growing up, I love that series. It's the series that I watched as a kid alongside Batman, like Batman Begins, the Spider-Man movies. Those are some of the movies that really made me fall in love with superheroes. And Wolverine was definitely one of them. So in this movie, you get all the jokes, you get all the pop culture references that you will need, and some actually satisfying cameos compared to Doctor Strange's Multiverse of Madness. You'll get some satisfying ones, I would say. Unfortunately for me, there's some downfalls of this movie in terms of its story. It's a little paper thin, but for someone who has enjoyed the long span of the X-Men Fox universe and the Deadpool movies and the MCU, all that combined basically gets a huge thumbs up. No middle finger from me.
Whoa.
Yeah, exactly. So I am giving Deadpool and Wolverine a 2610 out of 3000. That's going to be at 87%.
Very nice. Feel like we watched the same movie again.
There you go. Yeah, we did. It's like we keep watching the same movies, and I don't know what's happening.
I don't know.
It's like we're watching them sitting next to each other.
I know. Sometimes you're on my right and sometimes you're on my left.
Oh,
On your left.
dude, some of the jokes are just so good. When when Deadpool and Wolverine first arrive back to the TVA together, it's like on your left.
On your left. It was so good.
Like if we spent the entire episode just like recounting some of the jokes, we would be here forever.
I think so. I mean, we're going off of, well, I mean, I watched it back to back days, so I have one extra viewing more than you, but that was already what, last Friday. I don't remember stuff
Yeah, and
from like yesterday.
most of the jokes are like kind of under Deadpool's breath or kind of just quick hitters, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Sorry.
Sorry. Yeah.
Dogpool was pretty cute,
Dog
even
pool.
in a ugly duckling sort of way.
Yeah. Basically freaking licking all the way into Deadpool's tongue.
Oh, that was
That
pretty
was
gross.
funny.
I did like the fact that all Wolverine needed to do was literally hold Dogpool, and it literally protected him. It was like a shield, like an
Yeah.
actual shield, not like the
Yeah.
one that Deadpool Prime used on
Nice pool.
Nice Pool.
It's like, oh, come on, Van Wilder. So I can gently tap the fourth wall too. The proposal.
Oh no, Van Milder.
Van Milder, that's what he
It
said.
was Van Milder. Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
So good.
I want to also mention this. Lady Pool was played by Blake Lively. Everyone was like, "Oh, Taylor Swift's going to be in the movie." I'm like, "Damn, she better not." And then, and then it's Blake Lively, so I'm happy about that.
Oh, don't forget
I'm
about
happy.
Cowboy. Don't forget about Cowboy Pool too.
Oh, and Wrexham Deadpool.
Yeah,
Dude, I wanted a Mint Mobile Deadpool.
that would've been sick.
I wanted that. I wanted a Mint Mobile. Probably couldn't. That's probably too much of a sponsorship type thing. Oh man,
Did you see who was playing Headpool?
who did play Red Headpool?
Nathan Fillion, bro.
Oh really? What the hell?
Yeah.
That's kind of random.
Yeah, and Cowboy Pool was Matthew McConaughey.
Oh really? That's
Yeah.
insane. I did not know that either.
Yeah, I caught it the second time, and then I confirmed it by looking at IMDb afterwards. But yeah, like I was like, I don't know if it was because we saw all those Deadpools come out of the portal, and yeah, like as soon as he started talking in his cowboy accent, I was like, wait, that really did sound like Matthew McConaughey. I wonder if it was him. And then yeah,
Or it
I
could have
looked it
been
up.
Glenn Powell if they
Yeah,
wanted.
that is true. You're not wrong there.
Have you seen or do you remember what's his name? Crap. Who played Bullseye in the he was also in True Detective. Crap.
Oh,
Total Recall remake.
are you talking about
He was the Penguin in the the
Yeah, yeah.
Batman. Yeah. What's his name again?
Oh my goodness.
Hey,
What?
right? Colin Farrell. God.
Colin Farrell.
God.
I just watched the Penguin trailer just a little while ago too. I'm like, dude, I can see it right now.
Oh, it's like I just listening to all his whole IMDb off of without knowing his name.
Yeah, I know.
But his Bullseye was another cameo, part of Cassandra Nova's team, because they had a guy do the whole getup, but it wasn't Colin Farrell. And also Vinny Jones's Juggernaut was definitely not Vinny Jones. There was a whole lot of cameos in there from the early Fox universe.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
a lot,
There was too many
especially
to mention.
especially given the fact that like obviously we spent a lot of time within the void. But I mean, even in the different realities, we had Happy Hogan, we had what B-15 show up and playing themselves, obviously. So there's so many characters that like, oh, what?
Yeah, imagine.
But I
if
felt
we
like
got
for
Owen
me the
Wilson.
hype. Oh, what was it?
Imagine if we got Owen Wilson
Oh yeah,
in TVA.
that'd have been
Mobius.
pretty sick. Mobius, that would have been sick. But what was I gonna say? Oh, but I felt like the hypest ones with the background music really was, and the unexpectedness for me still Blade. But I felt like on screen time, to your point, the Gambit was like I felt like had the most impact out of all the cameos.
Yeah, and they gave him the coolest choreography during that
Hmm.
like fight
Hmm.
sequence.
Yeah.
You know when Blade first comes in and they're talking in that room,
Hmm.
and he mentions like, "Oh, I don't like you," you know, to Deadpool, and Deadpool's like, "Ah, you never liked me," right? That
Yeah.
was actually like a wink, wink to Wesley Snipes' feud with Ryan Reynolds from
From
Blade
Blade
Trinity.
3. Yeah, but yeah, Blade Trinity. Yeah.
That's why I would have
Uh,
never expected them to actually like be in a movie together.
time heals, man. Time heals.
20 years, man.
I know. Jeez. So much time, but it went by
Uh,
pretty quick.
yeah, that's nuts, man. Okay, now that we've given our real review, let's jump into the guess the Rotten Tomatoes score. And I know, Ken, I have the belt here on this side. And sorry to say, but you can't have it. You can't have it. Start doing a freaking promo, wrestling promo right now.
I know. Don't get me
Uh,
started, man.
because right
Just
now,
kidding.
yeah, right now, the score is I have 12, you have 11, but according to wrestling rules, you have to beat the champ to win the belt.
Yeah.
So
Unfortunately, this is not a 2-pointer.
yeah, yeah. Who knows? I thought of an interesting scenario where next season we could have like pay-per-view movies. Like, you know what I mean? So like maybe
Yeah.
1 week we'll have more points on the line or something like that. You
Mm,
know?
I like that. You should probably jot that one down.
I
I like
know.
that. Pay
It's like
per view
yes,
points.
it's like, oh, we're gonna have Captain America Brave New World. 4 points are on the line, 3 points are on the line, something like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I like it. Definitely gotta jot that one down.
Yeah. Pay-per-view movies. SummerSlam. See, we gotta think of cool
WrestleMania.
names. Yeah. We gotta think of
WrestleMania would be like Fantastic Four for
right.
steps.
All right, Ken, what's going to be your guess for Deadpool and Wolverine?
Actually, it's in the neighborhood of where my real review, I Love You 3000 score was, but I'm gonna knock off a couple of points because critics are critics. Going with 89%.
Okay. I guessed close to my score also. So I guessed 86%.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna be at 89% also. Because that would have been a fitting end
Yeah,
to this season.
fitting into the. Yeah, seriously. Because this whole freaking season, man, has been a tie.
Yes.
So to end the season for the Guess the Rotten Tomato score, Deadpool and Wolverine is a
Oh.
79% on Rotten Tomatoes, according to the Tomato Meter, with
Mm.
336 reviews.
Okay.
But
Well, at least
audience score is
Oh, go ahead.
96.
Yeah, I was closer to the audience, to the people. I'm the people's champ.
The people's champ. I'm pretty sure we got trademarked over here. We're gonna have Dwayne Johnson come to our door after this.
I didn't finish the quote. It's like using a snippet on YouTube where you don't really necessarily get flagged. It was only 5 seconds.
There you go.
Hey, at least
Okay.
it wasn't a tie.
Right. I got tired of ties. It kept the season neck and neck the entire time.
It did. It did. But what was our final score?
So final score now for season 7. I have 13 points, and Ken, you have 11 points.
Wow, you're now a 3-time champ. Back to back to back.
Back to back. I gotta put that on my wall so when people walk into the office, it's like, oh shoot, he's a 3-time Guess the Rotten Tomato score winner.
That should be on
Respect.
your social media bio.
Yeah. I should.
Oh shoot.
The champ is here.
Or you could do the Booker T. The three-time weekly real championship champion.
That's so
Guess what?
good.
Oh yeah, it's so good.
All the freaking wrestling mumbo jumbo that we throw out. Of course, we're gonna do a little bit more as we have a little bit of an RKO
Yeah,
coming
I
up.
mean that wasn't on accident. That was our way of segueing to this segment right now because this coming Saturday, which is I believe it's August 3rd, we are wrapping up season 7 of the Weekly Reel podcast with another edition of the RKO Awards. And Jeremy, why do we call it the RKO Awards? Do you remember?
Because it comes out of nowhere.
It comes out of nowhere, but it's the finisher of finishers. And obviously we wanted to finish off another season of this Weekly Reel podcast in style. Obviously we wanted to come up with different ways of executing the RKO. And so I feel like this coming Saturday will be a little bit different. We'll have a few firsts. I won't I won't spoil all that we're going to be doing, but this will be our first live stream of the RKO Awards. So that'll be one of the first things that I'm definitely looking forward to. We're going to slightly tweak what we got going on that we normally have been doing these past. I think we've done 18 movies this season in season 7, so it'll be a little bit of a slightly different format. But yeah, we will be dishing out our RKO awards for season 7 and perhaps even more.
Perfect. Because I am excited to recap this entire season. There's a lot that happened. It was a little bit of a slow start in some movies.
Yeah.
Madam Web.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of stuff that we could talk about for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's stretched out over a longer period than we normally were accustomed to because in the previous 6 seasons, we literally would go back-to-back back-to-back weeks where we would cover a movie or sometimes multiple movies. So usually our seasons would last about 4 months of actual like reality time. But this past season, although we covered the same amount of movies, 18, we stretched it out over 5 months instead. We sprinkled in a few scheduled weeks off because of the adjustment to only covering new movies that we wanted to cover. So I thought it went well. I felt like it but again, it seemed like a long time ago since Madam Web, which was our season 7 premiere.
That's insane. Yeah, it does feel like a long time.
Yeah.
But guys, if you want to catch up with us and have basically notified of all of the stuff that we do here, we are going to be live streaming this coming Saturday. Where can they click all that stuff?
Well, we will be live streaming on a platform that some of y'all should know. It's called YouTube. So if you go onto your app store, your phone app store, download the YouTube app, or go on your browser, go to youtube.com. Go ahead and search for the Weekly Reel podcast, just how it's spelled out on your screens right now. Once you do that, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and obviously hit the bell for notifications so that it'll, like our Saturday live stream, Saturday morning at 10, right? We're going to set that up at 10 a.m.
Yeah, 10
Pacific time.
Yep.
Yeah, 10 a.m. Pacific this coming Saturday, August 3rd for our RKO Awards and our season 7 wrap up. So definitely looking forward to it. And I hope to see you all there because we covered an interesting wide range of movies here in season 7.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't talk about Long Legs officially as an episode, but we definitely covered it.
Oh, yeah, we did. So really 18 and a half.
Yeah, 18. Exactly. Special segment.
Yeah.
But if you want to catch all the updates, that's actually going to be on Instagram. So you get our stories on there. If you want to follow Ken or me, We're all connected to @weeklyreel on Instagram. I'll be updating my bio pretty soon.
Three-time champ.
Three-time champ. Just to make it seem like I'm there more often.
I was like, whoa, he updated his bio.
And another thing to look out for is we're posting videos on TikTok, which is @weeklyreelpod. So you get all the fancy edited videos of us talking and all that stuff. So if you're just listening to us right now and don't want to like listen to the long form on YouTube, TikTok is a good place to find all the little snippets of the Weekly Reel podcast.
Small
And
bites.
Ken posts good, does all the edits, and he does a really good job. So go ahead and follow us Weekly Reel Pod on TikTok. Ken, this is the last movie we are covering this season, so we can cry just like Thor was when whatever was happening with Deadpool. We'll never know, I guess.
I guess we'll never
Why
know.
was Thor crying?
He was God of Thunder.
Yeah, Thor. Another good running joke.
So good.
But if we missed anything, feel free to leave it in the comments afterwards. Comment us on Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff, or on YouTube. We'll see it. For me, maybe 2 months later, and I'll respond, but I'll definitely respond.
Eventually, yeah.
Eventually. It can lets me know through mail. Someone commented. I'm like, okay. And I put it back in the mail.
Yes, I spend the postage mail. I have forever stamps. No, I'm just kidding.
So
shoot.
Feel free to comment, and we're always here. Heck, even if you're listening to one of our old episodes, we'll comment right back at you. If you're watching Madam Web, first, why are you watching it? But comment there, and we'll answer you there. But until next time, well, first, we'll see you in part 2. If you want to stay for part 2, we're going to be ranking our MCU films.
All 34 of them.
All 34 now. But season 7 has been a ride, just like Deadpool and Wolverine. Will we come back, Ken? Probably not. No, I'm just kidding. No. To quote Wolverine, probably not. Until he's 90.
Until he's 90. I know. Hey, we both have a ways to way. I mean, obviously I'm closer to that, but 90 is a lot.
Yeah. We'll keep doing the Weekly Reel podcast until we're 90. On the reel.